Welcome 8th grade artists. Sorry I cannot be here today, but instead you have Mr. Bond, so yay! I'm going to be explaining what it is that we're doing in class today, so please make sure that our voices are at a level 0 and we're looking up at the screen so that you know what's going on and that you don't get confused with what our assignment is today. We're going to be picking up where we left off last class when we made the color wheel. So I'm going to be explaining kind of how we're going to finish the color wheel, how we're going to do this next project, our next day in painting boot camp, and then you're going to be able to get supplies and get started. So right now what I want you to do is just look up at the screen and watch. Don't get anything out yet. Don't get your Chromebook out yet. Just look up at the screen and watch. All right, so we are going to be, again, picking up with our painting boot camp. If you don't remember how to get to this, we go to our class website, and the one way to do it is to go to Assignments, Unit 2, Painting Boot Camp, or if you want the easy way, you can just scroll down to the calendar, find today, it's the 26th, click on the link that says Painting Boot Camp Day 2 Monochromatic Landscape, and that will take you there. All right, so the first thing that you're going to need to get done today is to finish up your color wheel. If you didn't finish painting it last time, this is the time to do it. If you did finish painting it last time, then you're going to do this last step, which says, when dry, cut out your color wheel and glue into your sketchbook. Just use the regular white glue. I'm running short on glue sticks. A couple dots of glue should be enough. Get it in your sketchbook. Next blank page is good. Then, once you finish your color wheel, you're going to be moving on to day 2, which is the monochromatic landscape painting. Monochromatic basically just means one color. Mono means one, chromatic means color. And the point of this project is for you to be able to try to do some color, to do some mixing with the paints to make different values. When things are lighter, they look far away from us, and when things are darker, they look closer to us. And we're going to be practicing that with this YouTube video. For those of you that do not have your Chromebook, I do have some laminated printed versions of this that you'll be able to use instead. So for the monochromatic landscape painting, like I said, you're going to use the video or the paper version to make a landscape painting. There's a couple of things I just want to share with you to help make this go a little bit smoother for you. First off, when you do get that paper, and that's just on the front counter, it's the same paper we use for the color wheel paintings. When you get that, please make sure that you write your first and last name, class period, and days on the back of your paper. There's going to be a lot of these landscapes floating around, and you need to make sure that you get yours back, especially if it goes onto the drawing rack at the end of class. So that's super important that you get both your first and last name, the class period, and today is an even day, so make sure you get your class period and even on there as well. You're going to be using, just like last class, you're going to be using the clear plastic lid to mix the correct colors and the ratio of paint to water. In the video, even though we're mostly just using one color, it is helpful to mix a little bit of the opposite color, just a tiny bit, to help make your color look a little bit grayer, and she explains that in the video. So mostly you're just using one color. You might be doing a tiny bit of color mixing, but mainly you're going to be adjusting how much water to paint you have in order to get those different values, those different colors that are on there. All right. When you do your first layer of the paint on there, it's going to be mostly water. You're going to have just a tiny bit of paint in there, mostly water. If you feel like that, if there's too much water in your paper, just take a paper towel and dab it onto your paper. I'm guessing that someone just dabbed in the classroom because every one of my other classes have done that, so yay you if you just did that. So again, you're going to take a paper towel and you're just going to dab off any excess water that's on your paper. Your paper does need to be dry between layers. So again, with that first layer, it needs to be super light. Just, use a paper towel to get off any excess water that's on there so it'll dry a little faster. If you just kind of fan your paper, like hold it and fan it, that dries it a little bit faster. But again, it's got to be mostly dry. Otherwise, when you go to add the second layer on there, they're going to blend together and it's just going to be kind of like a blob versus an actual landscape. In this video, she uses blue, but you can use whatever main color you want as long as you're doing monochromatic, meaning, like, for example, if you choose purple, you're going to have super light purple in the background, and then it gets a little bit darker and a little bit darker of only purple. So again, any color that you want for your main color, as long as it's monochromatic. She does have you tape the edges like around the outside of your paper, which is good because then you get like that nice like border around it. Just make sure that you take the tape off at the end of class, otherwise it'll rip the paper if it's on there too long. And then at the end of class, you're going to be putting it either on the drying rack if it's still really wet, or, and this is preferable, put it in your table folder, and again, just kind of like fan it, to help it dry a little bit faster. If it goes in your table folder, it'll be a lot easier for you to find next class. So eventually we are going to be putting these little mini landscapes in our sketchbook, and you're going to be getting credit for it as part of Painting Bootcamp, so make sure you don't lose it. All right, for getting supplies out today, we are going to have, if you look over onto the easel, the standing easel in the classroom, we're going to have person A, you're going to get one of those large gray bins from under the sink. That's what we put in the middle of the table to put the water cup in, just in case it accidentally tips over so our paintings and our Chromebooks don't get wrecked. Person A, you're going to be getting the gray bin for your table today. Person B, you're going to be getting 2 sets of temper cakes for your table to share. Again, you're going to be using the lids to mix, so share with one other person at your table. Again, person B, get 2 sets of temper cakes. Person C, you are going to be getting the blue brush cup and the water cup. And then person D, you don't have a setup job today, but for cleanup time, you're going to be needing to get one of those pink sponges from the sink, wiping down your table, and you're also going to be in charge of the table folder. When it comes time to clean up at the end of class, you're going to be in charge of what you got out for your table. So we already said D, you're cleaning the table and returning the table folder. Person A, that gray bin, you're just going to make sure it's clean and get returned under the sink in a nice, neat stack, not just thrown under there. Person B, at the end of class today, you're going to be needing to clean the lid off, dry it, and return it. And then person C, you're going to need to rinse off the brushes, put them back in the blue cup with the bristles up, please, so that they don't dry all funky and weird. And then you're also going to need to rinse out that water cup and return that as well. As soon as you have all of your supplies and everything out, then you can get started. And again, please make sure that you're using this time wisely, get this landscape finished, ask each other for help if you need to, and good luck.